Today is a pull session. We start off with the overhand prime row. We move on to a pull down variation, then back to the prime row for a lat row, and one more pullover variation. We got some arms at the end and rear delts. Last few sessions have been really solid here. Strength's still been decently high. Mostly today is going to be a thickness-driven pull session. I had a refeed over the weekend, so strength has been really good, so I'm curious to see what happens today. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of the prep series. We're going to be shooting a pull video today, so I'm going to take you guys through the full pull A rotation in the split that I'm doing, and thought we'd talk about nutrition a little bit. We're just going to touch on my pre-workout right now, my pre-workout meal, what I have before I go into training. It's just a bowl of slush. So that's cream of rice, 50 grams, which is not very much. I put a lot of water in it, so it's nice and voluminous. 2 scoops of whey, 15 grams of peanut butter, and I'm supposed to have fruit, but I fucked up and didn't bring it, so sucks to be me today. Typically, I would eat my pre-workout meal like an hour and a half before, but this digests so fast. I'm gonna be starving by the time this workout's done. I'll eat this really fast, go ahead and start my warm-up. It'll take me about 20 minutes or so, and then should be good to go from there. Everybody makes fun of me for liking it thin, like runny. I can't do it thick. The consistency just kills me. It makes me want to gag and like throw up the whole time. All right, so pre-workout meal done. Now it's time to have my actual pre-workout, the Labrada Pro Series pump. I've already had my coffee and stimulants and stuff for the day. I don't want to throw another stimulant in there because I already have shitty sleep. So if I have caffeine too late in the day, it'll just disrupt that whole sleep pattern even more. So no stims in the pre-workout. And then start sipping on the intro workout. It's got my carbohydrates, some amino acids to keep some fuel in the system. It's D-ribose to help out with endurance and refueling ATP, and some hydration blend to keep me going through the whole workout, keep the cells hydrated so that the performance can stay high. We'll go get warmed up and we'll get to this. We're starting with the overhand prime row, put more of a trap and rhomboid dominant movement, focus with the elbows coming out, pulling up high. 3 sets there, 2 top sets, 8 to 12, 1 back off at 12 to 15. So this thing has 2 grips, so we'll be using the overhand variation on this first movement, driving those elbows out, trying to retract the scapula, working on middle traps and rhomboid here. Trying to keep my arm internally rotated, so not trying to drive down this way, trying to internally rotate and pull up so I can hit that mid back. So right now, like, we're not gonna be making leaps and bounds with like increasing reps, increasing weights. It's gonna be like nickels and dimes here and there, and a match at this point is sometimes a win, just depending on how hard that these sets are. So first set was pretty heavy, so we'll see what we can get here. Set number 3, this one is a higher rep set. I got 12 in the first, 11 on the second. The goal here is 12 to 15. I hit 15 last time, so I should be able to do it again. Movements like this are critical to like bring out all those lumps and crevices and things that make the back look the way it's supposed to, right? So where you can see everything separating out, it's not just like one slab up and down. Last one was a little sloppier than I would have liked, but we made progress on the first 2 sets, so the fact that I could still get to 15, it's good. Then into our JIMICO Pulldown. This isn't a piece you're gonna see often. Same concept as like a wide pull down, like a wide cable pull down. It's just got kind of a different path on it. You have to be very particularly set up or else you're not gonna be able to feel it in the right places. So my hand's gonna start here, but it's gonna end out this direction. Now, when people do a pull down movement and they're here, the first thing they think they're training is their lats. Everybody wants to call that a wide grip lat pull down. It's not the case. This is not a great arm path to be able to hit your lats. The lat is an extender of the upper arm, meaning we are in this plane here. So my arm starts here and my humerus gets extended, right? So if my elbow's deviating this direction, I'm gonna hit things more like my teres and my lower trap. So when I'm doing this movement, I'm not thinking about just pulling that bar down. That bar goes that way. So I'm thinking about my elbows going that way. I'm trying to drive my elbows out to the side of the room. I wanna feel this in my teres. It starts here, and I'm trying to make it end in my lower trap where my scapula rotates under. So I can kind of feel that as it rotates under, it hits that lower trap, and then back out into the teres. I'm gonna be in this position, grab the bar, and pull my shoulders down. Then I stay in this position throughout the whole thing so my shoulders never relax, and I never come forward. My chest stays tall, nice and tall the whole time. My shoulders stay packed down to keep my back engaged and not to offload everything into like my shoulder joints. Not bad, I'm happy with it. Then we go back to the same prime row machine, but we switch into a lat row variation. Another 3 sets there. So we spend a lot of time on the same piece of equipment, but with varying focuses. The last back exercise is an incline rope cable pullover. So you got 3 sets of 12 to 15 there. So usually I would use the single arm preacher curl first before I go to dumbbell hammer curls, but there's 4 kids on that machine right now. I'm not gonna sit around and wait for each of them to do 2 sets. So when I'm doing this, I'm gonna alternate back and forth. Like, I fucking hate just holding on to one and doing it. So as I do this, I'm slightly going to lean to the side that I'm working. Like that, I'm not here and swinging it. But the reason I'm leaning to the left or the right, depending on what side I'm hitting, is I want my hand, elbow, and shoulder to be in the straightest line possible to provide the tension in the direction of my bicep pull. So a single arm preacher, I'm gonna use the Prime preacher because we can modify the strength curve. This shoulder is a little wonky at times, so it affects the bicep. So we have the cam here set up to number 4, which means the load comes on at the middle and the end. So like this is where it's gonna be heaviest. And here's where it's gonna be lightest, which tends to get really pissed off, like right in here. Because like all the supporting musculature, or musculature and ligaments take over for that labrum when it's not working the way it's supposed to. So 3 sets here, 2 are 8 to 12, 1's 12 to 15. Solid piece. Sometimes people will get issues with a preacher because of the way they set up. When they get on here, they're focused on driving that elbow into the pad. If instead you get that pad into your armpit and drive your tricep in and almost kind of pull your elbow off the pad slightly, you can tend to alleviate some of the issues at the bicep. And then you'll see a lot of people set up like this too, including myself. I was doing that for a while, where I was in this position doing the preacher curl, but it's a less safe position for your shoulder to be in. So staying square to the pad and keeping that arm in front of me here allows my shoulder to keep myself more stable, and I can lock down my shoulder with my lat so that nothing else is moving around, popping up and doing all that kind of stuff, and I can put it directly into the bicep. Biceps are done. Got some rear delts left. Then we'll call it quits there. Long session, finished out with the rear delts. That's all she wrote for the day. We're done now. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And tune in next time for the next video. Thanks, guys.